In the Wu Kingdom, a girl, presumably a consort, spoke with sharp accusation. Wu Yu, as the crown prince, you have done such a rebellious and unethical thing. The reputation of the Wu Kingdom has been ruined by your actions. If the former emperor were alive, he would have been infuriated with you. Wu Yu thought, my head hurts. I am still reeling, but I remember that the crowning is tomorrow. The lady continued, Wu Yu, how many times do you have to repeat such a heartless mistake? Wu Yu, who was sleeping beside her, thought, this is one of my father's favorite consorts, and I forgot her name. He also thought, but why did she appear in my bed on the day before the crowning? He thought. Just then, the lady said, Wu Yu, you are awake now. And there were all the ministers. Wu Yu thought, this is not a dream. The bed is carved with colored phoenixes. This is not my bed. This is the Hall of Harmony, forbidden to princes and ministers. He realized, the former empress spoiled his consorts. He thought, also, how come there are so many princes and ministers here? They are forbidden to enter this place. The lady commanded, someone take this adulteress. She and Wu Yu were dragged down from the bed. In the front hall of the Zijou Palace of the Hu Kingdom, ministers whispered amongst themselves, how could the prince do such a thing? He's too young and fresh. The heart minister said, what a disgrace. The girl, the consort, cried out, come, drag the same response out of the gate and execute her at once. I am innocent, the consort pleaded. I don't know what happened. I swear. The lady, perhaps the empress, declared, my ancestor, Yan Ji, has not been educated properly. Yan Ji is guilty. Ministers stood, some voicing their disdain. It's not the consort's fault. It's you who has no shame. He's not worthy to be the emperor of Wu Kingdom either. He doesn't deserve to be the crown prince at all. The lady, probably the empress, addressed Wu Yu. Wu Yu, the former emperor has just died, and you are guilty of cheating with a consort. Wu Yu thought, my consort and I committing a crime. I don't even know the name of the consort. His muscles felt weak, and he couldn't get out. He thought, someone must have poisoned me. Just then, a voice came from behind. I told you that Wu Yu is materialistic, merciless, violent, and has no regard for the law. It was Prince Rong. He continued, he's obsessed with martial arts, yet he has no honor as an emperor. Wu Yu thought, materialistic. If it weren't for me, a young warrior, god of the 5th level of martial arts, you would still be bullied by our neighbors. Commander Hu said, this consort was of low status. If it wasn't for the precious emperor, this guy would have never had the title of prince. Wu Yu thought, I see. Prince Rong was robbed and flogged by me, and Commander Hu, I was convinced and beheaded by me. Looks like all those people who don't like me are setting me up, but they are not capable of poisoning me. There must be someone behind the scenes. Wu Yu said defiantly, you guys set me up. The empress, enraged, ordered, how dare you argue? Call the immortal Haotian. Wu Yu thought, the protector of the kingdom, sent from heaven to save the suffering. He doesn't engage in mortal warfare and only protects all good beings and kills demons. Even he was sent here. The gathered ministers started talking. Another one added, he has an immortal. How can he look like someone normal? Keep your voice down, another minister whispered. The immortal is coming. Just then, a man appeared. He was Wu Kingdom's immortal Haotian. The lady and the ministers greeted Haotian. Wu Yu said, I welcome the greatest immortal and ask him for justice. He thought, Supreme Immortal Haotian is a person of great righteousness and is highly respected by my father, so I am sure he can do justice for me. The lady said, I ask you to punish the sinner. Immortal Haotian asked, what happened today? He then said, I realized it. That's all. The kingdom should not be ruled by a dominating man. Buddhists stop the order of things. Wu Yu is a man of unethical behavior, and I am ordered by the heavens to remove you from the throne. He continued, and from this day on, your martial arts training will be abolished, and you will be sent to the army. Wu Yu thought, how could this happen? Wu Yu thought, I see. I am invincible in the Wu Kingdom. Only the immortal Haotian can suppress me. It seems that all of this was a plan made by them, and he is the one behind it. Immortal Haotian asked, Wu Yu, do you have something to say? I, Wu Yu, have lived my life without fear and regret, he declared, but today, the immortals want to destroy me, and I have nothing to say. He sat down and laughed, a bitter, cynical sound. The minister exclaimed, how dare you be so reckless in front of the immortal? Immortal Haotian said, in that case, I'll give you soul-serving powder, cut off your meridians, and abolish your cultivation. He ordered, someone give it to him. Wu Yu thought, in this life, I am the strongest mortal in the country, but I can't compete with you, a superior immortal. If there is an afterlife, 10 years of hard work, but it's all gone to waste. The immortal ordered, immediately send him to the army. Obey the law. Wu Yu was being sent to the army. Princess Wu, Wu Yu's sister, came to him. How could this happen? She asked, tears in her eyes. Sister, there isn't anything I can do today, Wu Yu replied, his voice resigned. It's the heavens who want to kill me, do you understand? I don't understand, but I believe in you, she cried. It's okay, he said, trying to comfort her. He promised, in the next life, I'll be your brother again. In the next life. She whispered, her voice breaking. 2 hours later, it was cold. Wu Yu was about to die. He thought, immortal Haotian and concubine. He shouted in his mind, if one day I can die and be reborn, I'll make it so that you'll pay. Wu Yu is late. The sun has set. Go report to the chief. Wu Yu seems to be dead. The other guard said, okay, I am on my way. The other thought, are you sure he's dead? Aloud, he said, I think so. What do we do? Since he's dead, take away the body far and throw it, the chief ordered. They threw his body down a cliff where he landed on the snow. But just then, a pendant on his chest began to glow and absorb into his chest, and the heavenly pillar appeared in front of him. He was surprised to see it, and all the knowledge of the heavenly pillar started entering his mind. He thought, this is the first level of the golden body. And what the hell was that? It was the Monkey King. He thought, I am at the great sage of the heavenly place and the heavenly Buddha. In the Wu Kingdom, the scene shifted. The lady, who bowed in front of Immortal Haotian. Immortal Haotian spoke with an ethereal calm. Wu Yu might have been a fierce cultivator, but the rebellion of a prince is a mundane matter. Tomorrow, I'll give my order to let Ian take the leader. I can't let him live a life of mediocrity. He added, it's good to be a model emperor. The lady, perhaps sensing a lingering threat, said, Master, Wu Yu is very skillful. Although he was sent to the army, I am worried that he will rise again. Don't worry, Immortal Haotian dismissed, his voice cold. I've asked Minjay to intercept him and kill him. He will die for sure. I never leave any danger behind. He thought, what a terrible woman. The lady said, with a relieved sigh, with Master's help, I feel relieved. The scene shifted to Wu Yu. He thought, am I not dead? Also, the effect of Soul Breaker is gone. He felt a pang of regret. It's a pity that my fifth heaven martial arts training, forging flesh, grinding tendon, bone refining, eternal strength, and blood transfusion, might have been wasted, and now all of the things I have trained for a long time have been destroyed. Also, what about the nightmare and that iron rod? He remembered. When I was 5 years old, my mother died, and I was lonely. After that, an old man came to my window every night to tell stories. I wanted to see the old man, but when I went out, he would disappear. And after a year, one night, he came in and threw a small rod. He said, child, keep it with you. It'll keep you alive for a long time. Wu Yu had said, thank you, old man. At present, he thought, the iron rod is gone. Could it be that old man is the Quith on the stage in my dream? He dismissed the thought. Forget it, it's useless to think about it. Let's try to cultivate the Vajra body of Mara first. The first layer of the first level of Vajra body would be Vajra forging flesh. He began to recite, Chi out of Hua, Guy, go to the cloud, door down the middle house. He was saying all this, and when he started practicing, after 4 days, Vajra heavenly gift was forging his blood and flesh. In just 4 days, he was a first-level martial artist. Incredible, he exclaimed. My strength is now equivalent to the strength of 3 warhorses, and it's already 3 times the strength of the first martial heaven. He thought, my muscles are strong, and my recovery is great. This technique is amazing. So what are we waiting for? Let's start the second level, Vajra tendon. After 7 days, the second layer, Vajra tendon, was completed, and his body became more. After 7 days, the second layer, Vajra tendon, was completed, and his body became more powerful. He thought, my strength is more than 5 times that of an ordinary martial artist. He said, not bad. Now I have the power of 10 warhorses, and my full power is almost close to the 4th level of martial arts. Just then, he wondered about a strange smell. It was a snake demon. He was ready to fight. The demon transformed into a girl and said, Wu Yu, we met again. You are a disciple of Supreme Immortal Ban Wing, the protector of the kingdom, has bred a snake demon? Wu Yu realized, no wonder thousands of people have disappeared from my capital in the past 10 years. She said, Wu Yu, you have done a great job. If I had to use your corpse to give my master an explanation, I am afraid you would have faked your death and escaped successfully. Now that you have been struck by Soul Breaker, what else can you do? I will get your body and leave your head behind. She charged, unleashing an attack towards him. Wu Yu dodged the attack. You don't take me seriously, do you? He thought, I was hoping you would underestimate me. Just then, he punched her. She flew away backward and said, impossible. You have definitely been affected by the soul breaker. How can you have such great strength? He thought, according to what Min Jae just said, she has a 4th level of martial arts, and with her snake demon physique, she's probably second only to me in the Wu Kingdom. He thought, I must kill her while she is hurt so there isn't any danger for me. But just as he attacked her again, she struck him into a tree behind. The soul breaker can't be ineffective. She cried, what the hell is going on here? He was about to attack her again, but just then she transformed into a giant snake and said, Wu Yu, I am going to eat you. But Wu Yu changed direction midair and landed on top of the snake's head. He was about to kill the snake. The snake cried, don't kill me. Wu Yu, spare me. Spare you? Wu Yu snarled, I'll break you into pieces today. Don't kill me, the snake pleaded. I'll tell you a big secret about your father's death. She thought, the plan is almost ready. Next is to mess up Wu Yu's concentration. She said, it was my master and the consort who killed him. He was shocked. He thought, no wonder my father died of old age in half a year when he was in his prime. So that's what happened. The snake continued, in order to kill him cleverly, my master wasted a lot of pills. Those poisonous poisons were put in your father's diet by the consort's own hands. Wu Yu, enraged, thought, come on, get angry. It's my only chance to live. He shouted, these two bastards. Just then, the snake transformed back and said, no. Wu Yu was caught off guard and was dropped into a river from the top of a cliff. The lady, now transformed back to human, said, it was a close call, but I managed to use the river to escape. A mortal body falling from such a height into the turbulent river would be doomed. No corpse, but the job is done. Wu Yu opened his eyes on a bed and thought, where is this place? Why is the aura so strong? The old man said, you finally woke up. Wu Yu thought, this voice is the old man who gave me the iron rod. He asked, old man, did you see me 10 years ago? How could that be possible? The old man replied, I've been in these mountains for 80 years and have never left. How could I have seen you? Then may I ask where are we? Wu Yu asked. This is the immortal gate, the old man said. What? Wu Yu exclaimed. Good, Wu Yu said. The old man started talking about Zanman. The strongest of Tian Sword School is the head teacher, a legendary Jindan immortal. After him are the elders, then the core disciples, and lastly the outer disciples. But there is a disparity in status between core disciples and outer disciples, as the number of outer disciples is 100 times that of core disciples. However, most of us are handymen in the mountains, taking care of food and living, the daily life of ascetics, feeding spirit beasts, planting fairy spirits, and cleaning places. It's all our work. There are hundreds of servants and core disciples, and 10 servants for the outer disciples. All servants are not allowed to leave without permission unless you reach the 6th level of mortal body training before the age of 15. At the 16th level of martial arts, you have the opportunity to pass the assessment and become a formal disciple, so you no longer need to be a handyman. You can start cultivating immortality. It was a pity, I was one step away. They gathered in a place where 2 people were standing on top of the stairs. One said, I have become an outer disciple. I can cultivate immortality. Wu Yu was 15 years old, and in 2 months, he'd be 16. He said, it's a pity, if I didn't have Dan Chongshan. Wu Yu, remember, as a handyman, the biggest rule is that you must never offend immortals. It doesn't matter if you are an outer disciple, remember, you can be killed. Don't worry, I'll remember, Wu Yu said. Just then, he saw an immortal flying on a crane. The old man said, bow your head quickly. That's Hui Yen, the peak master of Yanli Peak. She is a direct disciple of the head teacher and has very high status among the core disciples. Old man's son sighed with relief. Fortunately, the fairy didn't see it, otherwise, if you don't bow your head, you'll die. Wu Yu thought, it turns out that the immortal path is even more dangerous. He asked, Uncle Son, when is the next handyman assessment? Within 2 months, old man's son replied. Here we are, the fairy beast garden. This is in front of us, and our task is to take care of fairy beasts. Zhuan said, Son, bow. Who is this? The person in front thought, was he the one picked up by Shang? He should be very powerful, considering he survived the Bibo River. A newcomer is here. Of course, we have come to find out the details. The master standing in front said, come on, show me what you can do. Old Man Sun protested, no, his body is still very weak, and you are already at the 4 level of mortal body training, how can he be your opponent? The cultivator said, it turned out to be a waste, ugly, but no matter whether you are false or not, if you do one less job, I'll sacrifice your life. A man said, bow out. Don't worry, if he does one less thing, I'll make one more. The boy said, today, I came to see Senior Sister Sue to learn the way of immortality. Did you bring a thank you gift? The girl said, are you afraid that you will apologize to Senior Sister Sue for your work practice recently? Old Man Sun said, Wu-Yu, don't look directly at the immortal. Yes, Uncle Sun, thanks for the reminder, Wu-Yu replied. Just when they landed, Wu-Yu thought, if it wasn't for Duan's son, perhaps I could also be one of them. In the evening, he was cleaning the area, just when an outer disciple shouted, my crane. Who did it? It was, he said, who was serving Situ Jin's crane just now. Zhang said that Wu Yu was the one who served the fairy crane just now. He thought, newcomer, you are out of luck. Wu Yu was startled and said, no, not me. The boy attacked and said, damn you. He continued, it's just a lowly handyman who dares to hurt my crane. Old Man Sun pleaded, Shangzan, I've fed your crane, so please spare him. Wu Yu thought, Shangzan is clearly here for me, so he can't implicate Uncle Sun. Asterisk he stood up, upset. One person does things, and one person is responsible, regardless of other things. The immortal voice, the outer disciple, said, you have got power. I hate stupid fools who are incompetent yet full of courage the most. The girl standing behind said, these servants deserve to die. If you don't kill him, the others won't be well behaved. The boy, Shangzan, said, you are right, and again attacked Wu Yu. It's time to teach these idiots a lesson, he shouted. Go to hell. Wu Yu was thrown away by the force of the boy. The girl said, he's probably dead. Forget it. Shangzan said, it's better for him to die. Let's go. Wu Yu, still alive, coughed and thought, within 2 months, I'll join them. Today's suppression and humiliation, I will give it back to you all soon to pay attention to my surroundings. A man was watching him. He said, you bastards are really lucky. Others also arrived. One said, Boss Zhao, Sun would have said that Wu Yu was weak, but he survived after being whipped. I felt something was wrong. Another said, he must have got great fortune. Zhao said, what did you get? The secret book or the pill? Take it out, otherwise, die. I have nothing to give you, Wu Yu replied. The boy standing behind said, Zhao is very stubborn. I have nothing to give you, Wu Yu replied. The boy standing behind said, Zhao is very stubborn. It's better to clean him up first. He added, give us a chance to do a meritorious service. We'll smash his teeth and see if. Old Man Son of Wu Yu the guy attacked, shouting, watch it, boss. I'll send him happy to heaven in one punch. Wu Yu thought, this guy is full of flaws. How dare he speak like that? He kicked him in his stomach. I'll use you to warm up. In just one kick, the attacker was sent flying. Zhao thought, why is he so powerful? The boy who was attacked wasn't able to stand. Zhao ordered every other member, let's go together. I don't think he can fight 4 at once. Avenge your fallen comrade. But Wu Yu said, you guys are coming at me, so don't blame me. With a single punch, he started knocking out everyone. Don't blame me for not having mercy. With just a few punches and kicks, he took down everyone. Zhao thought, this guy's moves are sophisticated, and his body is strong. He is nowhere near 90%. Seems like I'd have to give my best to defeat him. Wu Yu thought, this Vajra invincible body is really strong. Ordinary attacks can't do any damage to me. He thought, quick revenge, this feels so good. He said, it's your turn. Zhao hissed, you are so ruthless. Do you think your body can withstand my sword? Wu Yu said, oh, is that so? I am sad then. Let's try out the Buddhist dragonfish technique. You don't know your strength. Zhao shouted. Wu Yu went to attack him. Zhao parried and slashed him. Do you think that any fool can be the boss of a model beach garden? His underling said, boss, come. We have to make him give up the treasure first. Finish the job first. Wu Yu was already in the inner strength realm. His internal organs had been forged, and his breath was long, so he was not easy to deal with. The underling added, this fool is one of the S-men. Tomorrow, I'll throw Old Man Sun off the black cliff and feed him to the beasts. The other said, yes, Old Man Sun, that old bastard. I already see him as an inconvenience. Zhao said, good. I'll do as you say. He charged at Wu Yu. Wu Yu thought, this bastard wants to kill Uncle Sun. The situation is already a deadly one, and only by fighting to death can Uncle Sun and I survive. But this is how to run a service moves, a national president with the martial body of an immortal. With just his bare hands, he was cutting the trees. Zhao shouted, "You are a punk. You only know how to dodge, not die." He launched an attack towards Wu Yu. He attacked him, and Wu Yu fell back. Wu Yu thought, fortunately, the third layer of my Vajra invincible body, Vajra bone, has already developed flesh and bones, otherwise I'd have been killed by that sword. The underling said, "Boss, this bastard is dead. First, chop his head, then question him carefully." Zhao said, "Wu Yu, accept your fate," or, just then, Wu Yu stopped his sword with his bare hands. "Keep dreaming, Zhao." Wu Yu retorted. Zhao and the others were shocked. Zhao said, "How can you still have the strength?" But just then, Wu Yu unleashed his blue dragon fist and struck Zhao's face. "I won't resign myself to fate." "What the hell is this creation?" Zhao demanded. Wu Yu thought, if it wasn't for the Vajra bone breakthrough, this sword would have broken my hand. The other underling said, "Wu Yu, you can buzz out. According to the rules of Tian Sword School, you will be executed. Today you will destroy me, and tomorrow you will throw my Uncle Sun off the black cliff to feed the crows." Wu Yu said, "No, is that right?" The underling stammered, "No, we didn't say that. You must have heard it wrong." But Wu Yu declared, "In my life, Wu Yu has killed only two kinds of people, the most vile and wicked, and those with deep-seated hatred. He killed all of them and thought, you all fit the requirements. The great sage of Chitian and the Buddha of the free. Thank you for giving me a new life. This is a good sword, and I'll use it for now." He dug up a place to bury the sword and thought, "I can use it when I am taking the entrance exam." The immortal guard standing nearby thought, what kind of transformation did he get? He was ordered to kill Wu Yu by another hand. He thought, with the current level of recovery of the body of Buddha, most of the wounds should be healed by tomorrow morning. However, the injuries on my hand should not be seen by Uncle Sun so that he does not get worried. He tied clothes around them and thought, by now, Uncle must be asleep. When he entered the room, there was a note. "The wound will recover quickly with the soup I made." Wu Yu thought, "Uncle Sun, don't worry. I'll complete your unfulfilled wish in the examination." Uncle Sun had said, "I was just one step away from serving Immortal City years ago." Wu Yu thought, in the past, but after I enter the Immortal Sect, I will not let go of those who deceived me and harmed me. 2 days later, in the main peak of Bibu, Tian Sword School Peak in the palace, a girl arrived. "Master, about Wu Yu's situation, that's all." The master said, "So, what do you want to do?" She replied, "As the saying goes, a man is not guilty of anything, but he is guilty of something. Master, you once taught me that a mortal way is the way of predation. So, this disciple wants to take Wu Yu's creation here." The master said, "Young Een, my principle that the heavenly cauldron is great, that it can provide any handyman disciple a spiritual creation. With my ways of preservation and parentage, Een will be great to reach the golden core stage and even reach the level of a teacher." She, Een, replied, "Master's right. From now on, I'll concentrate on cultivating Master's guidance." Immortal Haotian replied, "Very well, Een. You must have the will to scornfully look at the world with me. Although mortal power is dangerous, it also needs to be worthy of bullying the weak in the north." He said, "Return. The handyman Wu Yu is destined to be more since he is a member. Take care of him." She said, "Disciple understands." A month later, Uncle Sun said, "Wu Yu, don't go. It's better to rest in the room." Then Zhao and others died due to a demon going berserk. Wu Yu said, "Room for Uncle Sun? I am just going to stay near the fairy beast garden, and I won't go far. Tell me when it's time to work." Uncle Sun said, "All right, be careful then." Wu Yu thought, he's alone, and he treats me like this. Uncle Sun, I must surprise everyone to make him proud. He continued to practice the heavenly devil's high-spirited viscera. As long as I can separate the pure cold spirit, pure yellow and gold spirit, white gold spirit, and wood spirit, and infuse them into my 5 organs for the perfect body, the next is liver, heart, spleen, lung, kidney. While he was practicing, hot pulses surged through him. I have to pass my 5 organs down, and that hurt. He was in immense pain, energy surging out of his body. He thought, the immortal gate. I just have one chance. His hands caused massive destruction on the ground. He thought, I can't believe more than 1000 body realm strength per 5 spiritual viscera has finally been achieved. He thought, I didn't expect that perfectly completing the 4th level of Vajra body would have given me the strength of 134 warhorses. It's even stronger than the common refinement stage 6. And for that, I am still a handyman. Tomorrow is the time that puts it into motion. Uncle Sun said, Wu Yu, it's time to work. I understand, Uncle Sun, he replied. Uncle Sun said, Wu Yu, from now on, it's best not to fool around. As a handyman, we must know our place. Zayo to our hole around now he's dead. Wu Yu said, Uncle Sun, you are right. Tomorrow, your friend and I are going to work. Of course, I will, Uncle Sun said. Then, a girl and boy arrived. Wu Yu said, it's them. Kong said, ILL quickly. Wu Yu said, it's too late. Uncle Sun said, you have to think of a way to leave. ILL stall. The girl said, what a lowly slave. Look at that. Another boy said, when I attacked him, I've used quite a bit of force, but you think he still survived? The photography is him. He said, hey, handyman, you are still alive? Uncle Sun tried to speak, but Wu Yu thought, although I am not weaker than them, the situation is completely different. It's better not to cause trouble this time. He bowed in front of the cultivators and said, I greet the immortal. This handyman has fought to stay alive, but thank you, immortal, for having mercy. Su saw him in an arrogant way. Wu Yu thought, good thing I am flexible. The girl said, Jim, you are really weak. Even after half a day, we can't be a slave. If my friend was tormented like that, I would have tormented the government who did it. Kong then said to Wu Yu, your sister is right. I can't just forget what happened last time. You made my friend vomit. If you were to eat this *T, I'll let you go. The old man, Uncle Sun, said, immortal, I brought Wu Yu, so I'll do it. But Wu Yu said, Uncle Sun, you know well. Kong said, you slave. They broke against my orders. He said, even a slave cannot be insulted like that. He thought, I don't want to cause trouble, but I am not afraid of trouble either. The other slaves around them whispered, it's over for Wu Yu. Another one added, that's right, it's all because of Jungwon's family. Kang attacked Wu Yu. Slave, you are dead. But just then, as he was about to attack, he got slapped, and with the force of that, he flew away and struck further off. He shouted, who dared to hit me? It was his senior sister, Su. He asked, why was she here? She said, this is Yanli Peak, my territory. Jian, Kong, you are no longer allowed here. Kong said, sis, but he's just a slave. She said, he's a part of the peak. If he needs to be punished, it'll be done by me, not you. He said, hey, senior sister Su, don't forget my brothers, Si Hu, Minlang, and Li Pin, and his big brother, the peak master of body forging peak. He says the standard is much better than yours. He added, I said that the protection sect is ready to accept him as a handyman, and in the future, his status will exceed yours. The other girl said, Sister Chi said, are you threatening me? The boy, Kong, said, you weren't there. I am just saying and leave Yanli Peak. He thought, just you wait, when Een becomes the son of her, I'll make sure you have a good look. Wu Yu said, thank you, immortal. She said, don't pay it any mind. Wu Yu, 13 years old, was already at the peak of martial arts, unrivaled. He had defied the laws of heavens. When I was looking, he was only at the peak of martial arts. Old man Sun thought and said, Wu Yu, I thought I was going to miss tomorrow's exam, but the intense exam of the Jian Peak is far. My legs aren't good. Wu Yu, how about you set up tonight? Don't worry, uncle, he said. I'll carry you to the Senso Peak. He thought, if I want to change my life, tomorrow is my only chance. I must win in the Senso Peak. It was crowded. Wu Yu led Uncle Sun there. Uncle Sun said, Wu Yu, through the packet, report to the sect representative. The participating disciples must start from the bottom of the peak to complete it. You can watch the whole thing from here. So I'll be going down first. Wu Yu said, thank you, uncle. I can clearly see the genius that will succeed from this position. If you like, I can decide it for you, Wu Yu offered. All right, Uncle Sun agreed. Then, Wu Yu started running. At the starting point, a person declared, the peak handyman. A second person, an examiner, stated, you are at the 6th level of body forging. That's right, Wu Yu affirmed. Okay, let's go to the test, the examiner said, then asked, are you ready? I am ready, Wu Yu confirmed. He saw the examiner beat a horse with a whip, and Wu Yu had to stop them. This is it, the examiner said. You are far from ready. There's the red fire talisman. If your life is in danger, you can withdraw temporarily. The sect's disciples will save you. Yes, master, Wu Yu replied. The master, sitting on a high platform, said, what is the road to immortality? Repair for the 1st level. He thought, it is said that there are people in the world who will not take it lightly. On the mountaintop of the immortal platform, everyone thought, why isn't Wu Yu back yet? The crowd stirred again. Uncle Sun thought, mastered sitting on a line area. A girl, elegant and poised, said, seeing your nephew, Yen, if they are a good servant, take this line. She said, there is one named Wu Yu. An elder, sitting nearby, said, you don't pay much attention to the ordinary servants, but what's so special about this one? She said, I don't know what's special. I just came here to take a look. The elder said, then I'll have to pay more attention. The girl sitting on the crane scoffed, what's interesting about a group of mere handymen? What a waste of time. Another boy said, there's nothing to do anyway, so I came to see them fight for fun. The girl said, Jim, let's not be too proud. 3 of the present disciples are at the 7th level of body forging, which is 1 level stronger than us. The 7th level? The boy exclaimed. That's my big brother's level. The one sitting nearby yawned, I am bored. Why don't we try to get a full view from the air? The road to immortality soon shifted to people walking, and one of them said, the 3 strongest people in this examination, do you know them all? A second person said, I am a little young, so please introduce them to me, Brother Lane. A third one said, yes, of course. The chief of 4 disciples, just tell us about it. Another one pointed, see that young man in black? His name is Dan Long, 7th level of body forging, power of 200 battle horses. And the other thing about him is that he's only 14 years old, and he's already a great swordsman. He pointed to a studious boy. The studious boy with his juju, 7th level of body forging, said to be raised by a tiger in the mountains and wilderness. Good at the 8 steps of demon killing and phantom snake traps. He pointed to the last one. The last one, a young girl, Qian Meng, she's 12 years old and said that her Huashan's sword shadow and a bit of her footwork are very powerful. Wu Yu thought, 12 years old at the 7th level of body forging? Really strong, huh? The instructor in the front spoke to all of them. Test us on the road of immortality. You will encounter a total of 3 waves of attack, all of which are strong beasts that are about to become demons. The beasts are very dangerous. If your life is in danger, crush the red fire talisman, and we will save your life. Among the 300 candidates, only 100 will be able to participate in the Battle of Immortal platform, so you better get a good position. Remember, only if you succeed in the test, can you set foot on the road of immortality and kill the match. The time has come. On the road to immortality, you only need to remember one word, kill. They went inside. The person in front charged. Another one said, I'll kill all on the road to immortality in the jungle. Others thought, now I do not know the strength of the demons here. Wu Yu was thinking this and further thought, so it's not wise to rush to the front at this time. There were red-horned snakes, they said, therefore, this thing is poisonous. One charged towards it and said, kill it. Wu Yu thought, as I expected, this demon is really big. One was charging towards Wu Yu, but he thought, I can't waste too much energy here. He just stabbed his sword swiftly inside the demon. Dan said to Wu Yu, not bad, but today's number 1 is definitely me. He rushed forward. The reward, dry condensation pill, is also mine. Wu Yu thought, the first 2 to pass will be rewarded with a chi condensation pill. If Uncle Sun sees me as the first in this, he'll be very proud. In the crocodile farm, Wu Yu thought, this water crocodile looks motionless on the surface, but as soon as people walk by, they will attack. Some people were about to die, and Wu Yu spotted a girl who was about to be killed by the crocodile. He saved her and said, be careful next time. A person said, next time you are in danger, there is the talisman. She said, yes, my lord. Wu Yu said, last wave, I don't know what it is this time. And it was a lion. It attacked Wu Yu, but Wu Yu countered it with his punch and thought, this guy is really strong, but can he still begin? But the number of them was high, and that was terrible. There were many demons there, and it was unrealistic to kill them all. He thought, looks like the last level is a test of footwork. He thought, no, those 3 are faster. I have to do something. At this rate, alone, a day before, these were the 3 geniuses. Zhang said, not good. Too many casualties. Just now, a demon has absorbed blood energy. He became a stronger demon. The red ape was attacking in a rage, flailing wildly at everyone. The girl remarked on its immense size, but then was struck by a powerful punch from the red ape. She quickly regained her footing and exclaimed that its strength was beyond what a person could handle. The two other geniuses, seeing this, simultaneously unleashed their ultimate techniques, attacking the demon ape. Wu observed this and thought it wasn't good. He still hadn't fully recovered. He noted that the demon ape was being severely wounded by their combined efforts, indicating he couldn't take it on alone. He pondered his next move. The demon ape became even more berserk. Someone shouted that the blood mist it emitted was corrosive and that anyone touched by even a bit of it would be quickly corroded, urging everyone to retreat. Wu saw his chance, realizing that the blood mist couldn't harm his Vajra body. He decided he must first finish the road to immortality. Outside, the pavilion floated, and someone commented that it looked like they were already at the 3rd level. They wondered who would be the first to emerge. The girl, Wingman, said that the last level was a test of footwork, and her footwork was comparable to top-grade martial arts. The elder added that Mook must also be among the first, as he was born in the mountains and lived among wild beasts. A fatty speculated that it would be Zao, claiming he had inherited the 13 swords, a very amazing technique. A grim-faced man argued that not necessarily, as Qian Mang's sword reflection was also a secret demon-slaying technique. Another man advised not to just focus on ghostly, as there might be others. Old Man Sun thought about Wu, that kid, and worried about his whereabouts. Just then, someone emerged, and it wasn't Zao or Dan Long. It was someone they had never seen before. The girl was stunned, wondering if it was Wu, how that was possible given the immense effort it took him to defeat Zao alone. The elder was shocked to see a new face as the first to come out. She then recognized him and said, "Look, he's the Wu you mentioned." The elder, however, observed that although his qualities were unique, it was unfortunate that he was a bit old. She asked what he had done. Old Man Sun said that person looked familiar. The fatty confirmed it was Wu. Old Man Sun was overjoyed and said it really was Wu. He believed that Wu must have lost and went into an immortal ascension stage for convenience. Someone else asked what they should do. The fatty exclaimed that Old Man Sun had actually come out from the road of immortality. Old Man Sun dismissed it as a joke, questioning how that was possible. Wu then shouted, "Uncle Sun, I did it." The fatty stared, bewildered, as Wu soared in the sky. Uncle Sun cried tears of joy, declaring his happiness for Wu. The girl on the crane began to speak, but Jian interrupted, saying he had seen it. The other one remarked that Wu had been very weak when he was first encountered, but to think he was the first to finish the road of immortality, he must have planned something. A girl, Kogen, suggested that this person might seek revenge. Jian dismissed him as still just a handyman, saying he only emerged first after causing trouble. He decided they would continue later if he passed the more or less. The elder announced, "Congratulations to you for being the first to finish the road of immortality. Your name will be recorded in the history of the Great Sword Sect." Everyone applauded. Uncle Sun exclaimed his overwhelming happiness. Just then, 3 people emerged from behind the geniuses. The boy furiously accused Wu of being shameless, thinking he could steal their kills, threatening to kill him. The elder intervened, stopping him and stating that those who broke the rules would be disqualified. The boy reluctantly stopped, but vowed to not let Wu go after this was done. Wu understood that he had clearly carried the group after the blood mist was released. He thought about how it wouldn't have been possible without his Vajra body. Then, an announcement came that all 100 disciples had arrived. The next phase involved their moral lessons and firing those who dropped or had their red fire talisman crushed, until only 30 remained. Killing was prohibited. The chaotic battle with so many variables was about to begin. Wu thought about the many enemies he had made and decided it was better to stay away from him if he didn't want anything splattered on him. The elder explained that according to tradition, in order to succeed, they had to grab the immortal ball until the incense burned out. They had prepared 3 great prizes for those that obtained the immortal ball. The first prize would be direct qualification for the core exam, the second prize a chi condensing pill, and the third prize a top-grade, demon-slaying sword, its power comparable to a common magic weapon. Someone in the audience exclaimed that a chi condensing pill was a pill that only immortals could refine, and that such a rare treasure was very hard to obtain. The third one added that what was even more amazing was that a magic weapon could only be used by immortals, and it was very strong. The sect had an amazing budget. The elder then threw away the ball and declared, "The battle of immortal ascension will start now." The ball came straight towards Wu. He thought that the battle had just started, and if he were to possess the immortal ball, he would definitely be surrounded. He decided he had to use proper footwork to escape from them to save energy. Everyone fought like cats and dogs to grab the immortal ascension ball, but Wu Yu remained still. Just then, a big, muscular guy appeared from behind and, referring to Wu Yu's earlier confrontation, asked how he dared to anger his lord Zhao and why he still hadn't left. The fatty observed that Zhao's brother had moved to attack Wu Yu. Another one added that although Wu Yu was at the 6th stage of body forging, with Zhao's innate strength, Wu Yu was doomed. The third one concluded that this was what happened to high-profile ready to fight, attacked Zhao's guard, disarming him by throwing his weapon away. The guard thought, how is that possible? He's stronger than me. Wu Yu moved forward again, kicking him in the stomach, sending him flying off the stage. The girl, observing the match from the crane, commented that Wu Yu could easily defeat a 6th-level body-tempering cultivator. She surmised that this Wu Yu was probably a rare talent. However, the other boy, Kan, arrogantly dismissed it as mere parlor tricks, boasting that he would kill Wu Yu in 2 or 3 strikes if they met. On the other hand, the fatty, Zhao, and Uncle's son were thoroughly enjoying the match. Zhao exclaimed, "Wow, look! Wu Yu is strong." Uncle's son happily agreed. Just then, in the audience, a boy remarked that Zhao had taken all the immortal balls. Another person noted that Zhao was one of the 3 strongest participants, but wondered if he could hold on. Zhao was surrounded, and a third of the incense had already burned, meaning half the time was gone. They doubted he could make it, deeming it still too risky. Suddenly, another person appeared from the shadows, claiming there were loopholes in the system. He fell onto the stage and quickly took an immortal ball. Zhao then addressed Wu Yu, insinuating that Wu Yu was a coward who only knew how to hide. Wu Yu retorted that he was simply desperate, and questioned if Zhao hadn't arranged that guy to sneak up on him, and if Zhao really had the audacity to accuse him of being deceitful. Wu Yu added that this way of fighting wasn't about being righteous, he always focused on winning, regardless of the means. Zhao called him a scoundrel, but internally conceded that there was some truth in what this bastard said. He admitted that with so many people involved, it was too difficult to retain his immortal ball. Everyone else was also fighting fiercely for their immortal balls. The person holding the ball thought he had to hold on, as the chi condensation pill and demon suppressing sword would be his. But just then, the girl, Qian Mang, attacked him with her sword. He realized she had actually attacked from behind someone else. She was about to seize the immortal essence ball, but he threw it away. The elder remarked that Qian Mang might have a chance, as she possessed many skills and knew how to preserve her energy. By now, only about 60 people remained, and half of them had no intention of going for the immortal ball, so the pressure was much less. The elder, however, warned that it wasn't necessarily a foregone conclusion. He observed that Wu Yu hadn't made a decisive move yet, and the people sitting on cranes overheard, and one said that Hui Yen actually thought highly of Wu Yu, wondering if it could be true. The other scoffed, calling it a joke, vowing to eat all the demon meat that day if Wu Yu could get the immortal ball. On the stage, Qian Mang released the ball, thinking it wasn't too late to let these people compete for it later. A moment later, she called out to Wu Yu, asking if he also wanted to compete for the immortal ball, as he hadn't made a move yet. He affirmed this. She then declared that they should do their best. Qian Mang secretly flew towards the immortal ball and grabbed it. She proclaimed that whoever dared to snatch it should blame her, Qian Mang, for being rude. Everyone on the stage thought Qian Mang was formidable and decided it was useless to fight her, as she was too strong. They feared they wouldn't have any chance once injured by her and decided that simply being accepted as a disciple would be sufficient. But Qian Mang challenged Wu Yu, asking if he didn't want the immortal ball and daring him to come and take it if he had the ability. Wu Yu calmly accepted the challenge. Finally, the final battle began. Wu Yu was the focus of the crowd, and someone remarked that they thought he would lose this time, as he was up against Qian Mang again. Just then, the attack began. They started clashing their swords. Qian Mang quickly moved behind Wu Yu and told him he couldn't hide, but he deftly dodged her attack. Wu Yu also attacked from beneath, but she leaped to avoid his strike. A person sitting on a crane addressed Brother Situ Jin, urging him to make sure Ling was less troublesome today. Situ Jin asked what he meant by that. The person replied that he would rather not see the results, but it seemed that the little girl might lose. Just then, with another slash, the girl, Qian Mang, fell off the stage. She thought it wasn't good, realizing she had forgotten about the immortal ascension platform during their intense combat. It was over, she was out. Everyone in the crowd was astonished, and someone remarked that if it wasn't for the Immortal Ascension platform, it wouldn't be certain who would win. Another person lamented Qian Mang's fall, calling it a pity. But just then, Wu Yu caught her hand. She was surprised that he actually. But he pulled her up and said, "Come on, let's fight again." She, however, replied that he had won and there was no need to continue. She then graciously gave up the Immortal Ascension ball. The bustling crowd, a participant reflected that it was good to see Qian Mang, despite her youth, display such strong principles. Another observer expressed surprise at Wu Yu's power, while someone else agreed, noting that although Qian Mang was tired from the earlier fight for the Immortal Ball, Wu Yu too was exceptionally strong, as expected from the first person to emerge from the Tian Sword School path. The elder remarked on Wu Yu's skill but acknowledged his preference for Qian Mang, praising her twin talents. The lady on the crane then commanded her move. After the incense stick burned out, the elder announced the contest was over. He declared that Wu Yu, the handyman, had won the Immortal Ball, earning him the Qi Condensation Pill and the Demon Suppressing Sword. He formally announced that as of that day, Wu Yu had set foot on the Immortal Path and officially become a disciple of the Immortal Sect. Wu Yu internally celebrated, realizing he had finally achieved his goal. He acknowledged that even the Crown Prince of the Eastern Hu Kingdom would find it hard to acquire such treasures as the Qi Condensation Pill and the Demon Suppressing Sword. The crowd cheered. Qian Mang approached Wu Yu, congratulating him and suggesting that despite their realm difference, they could become friends. Wu Yu, flattered, agreed that she wasn't bad herself. Old Man Sun, beaming, confirmed that Wu Yu had indeed become an immortal, expressing profound contentment and no regrets in his life. The fatty remarked that with both the competition and the treasure won, Wu Yu's future looked exceptionally bright. Another person commented that Wu Yu would ascend to the heavens in a single step. The fatty reassured Uncle Sun, saying there was no need to worry about the future. Just then, on top of the cranes, a third disciple expressed amazement at Wu Yu's incredible success and sudden surge in strength. However, Ken vowed that Wu Yu would not bask in his glory and would regret it. The elder then addressed the 30 victorious, however, politely requested a moment, explaining that he had brought Old Man Sun from Yanli Peak to watch the battle and wanted to arrange for someone to escort him down the mountain. The elder readily agreed. Wu Yu went to Uncle Sun to bid him farewell. The fatty, sensing Wu Yu's hesitation, reassured him that the Merit Transmission Master was waiting for him and that they would definitely send Old Man Sun away safely. He added that the brothers would be fooling around with Shangzan in the future. Wu Yu accepted their offer, trusting them to take care of Uncle Sun. The others went away happily, singing about the handyman who had won the championship and declaring their intention to participate in the Immortal Platform and win the Immortal Ball next year. The girl on the crane pointed out to Jian the old man below, who used to protect Wu Yu. Peak. The elder informed the newly accepted disciples that Yanli Peak would be their residence, with each person having their own palace. He explained that the palaces contained books detailing the rules and records of the Immortal Continent, which would help them understand the sect's rules, the functioning of the Immortal Continents, and the distribution of demons and monsters. Outer court disciples, he added, would receive 1 flying fairy grass and 1 talisman every month, and a senior brother in charge would explain the specific matters. He advised them to find suitable accommodation. Wu Yu observed the various mounts and handymen, realizing how nice the place was. He decided he would go back to Yanli Peak first and beg Hui Yen to let Uncle Sun come to his place and enjoy his old age in peace. He reflected on the different experiences of a handyman and a formal disciple. As he was Uncle Sun, expressing his inability to repay his kindness but promising to avenge his death. The person reminded him that cultivators and Immortal Sect disciples could not harm each other, otherwise the consequences would be severe. He advised Wu Yu, as a new member of the Immortal Sect, to let it go. However, Wu Yu, his voice filled with burning rage, stated that if he didn't kill Situ Jin that day, he swore not to be a human. Just then, Situ Jin was enjoying his victory, with a girl remarking that killing that old man and those blind handymen was truly a relief. The other girl expressed concern, knowing that Old Man Sun and Wu Yu had a good relationship, and wondered if everything would be okay. Situ Jin dismissed Wu Yu as mere trash, saying he couldn't do anything. Suddenly, Wu Yu landed there with immense pressure, calling out Situ Jin's name. The people standing there recognized him as the one who won the championship and wondered why he was looking for Situ Jin. Others thought it looked like he was there to seek revenge, anticipating a show. The girl worried for Situ Jin, but he boldly stated that there were 4 of them. Situ Jin further explained that the sect rules forbade outer court disciples from fighting each other, otherwise they would be expelled from the sect or even killed on the spot, questioning what else Wu Yu could do to them. Situ Jin then realized it was Yanli Peak's little handyman and taunted him, asking if he was there for that old man he killed, and if he had the courage to fight him. The girl from behind added that the old man staying alive would just be a waste of food. A third person chimed in, asking Wu Yu if he had thought about it carefully, and if it was worth being expelled from the sect for a piece of trash. A fourth girl dared him to do it, stating that the four of them would kill him together. Wu Yu, his eyes burning with vengeance, declared that none of them would get away with Uncle Sun's death. He vowed to make them all pay. Wu Yu courageously ran towards them, his determination stark against the growing concern of other disciples. They whispered amongst themselves, questioning his sanity, wondering if he truly intended to confront all of them by himself. One disciple noted the terrifying fact that Situ Jin had an elder brother and a younger brother, both of whom were monstrous core disciples. "Isn't this him seeking to die?" he murmured. Situ Jin, from his vantage point, calmly stated that he would take care of it. He internally scorned Wu Yu's arrogance, believing that simply because he had become an outer court disciple, he presumed to understand the true disparity in their strength. He then directly attacked Wu Yu, commanding him to eat this frozen ground. However, to everyone's astonishment, Wu Yu didn't even flinch. Jian's sword shattered, and Wu Yu swiftly moved to deliver a killing blow to Situ Jin, who was already on the ground from the impact. Everyone present gasped, realizing Wu Yu's intent to truly kill Situ Jin. Just as Wu Yu prepared for the final strike, Situ Jin's companions surrounded him, urging him to stop. Wu Yu's voice was firm, declaring that those who stood in his way would perish. One boy attacked, proclaiming that Wu Yu was the one who would die. Another added that he had long desired to kill Wu Yu, while a third ordered them to flank him, don't let him live. Situ Jin, frantic and terrified, fled like a coward, screaming for them to initiate a joint attack. He pleaded with them not to let Wu Yu live, but just as he tried to escape, a girl came flying, struck by Wu Yu's force. Situ Jin hysterically shouted for his brother, begging him to come quickly. He cried out that this was murder, that Wu Yu had killed someone. Everyone thought Wu Yu had gone completely mad. As Wu Yu was checking on the fallen girl, another girl was sent flying. Situ Jin, in utter disbelief, repeated that Wu Yu was crazy, completely crazy. He couldn't fathom such rage over a mere handyman. Then, another of his companions, not his brother but a friend, came flying as well. Wu Yu then directly addressed Situ Jin, declaring it was his turn. Situ Jin, fear creeping into his voice, begged Wu Yu not to kill him. At that critical moment, Situ Jin's older brother, Situ Kangukong, arrived. He angrily demanded how Wu Yu dared to touch his younger brother, accusing him of courting death. Situ Kong positioned himself protectively in front of Situ Jin. Situ Jin, relief flooding his face, pleaded with his brother to kill him, please kill him. The other onlookers collectively thought that with Situ Kang's arrival, Wu Yu was finished, noting that Situ Kong was at the 7th level of body tempering. They distinguished him from Situ Jin, acknowledging him as a true master focused on cultivation. Wu Yu calmly stated that there was no existing animosity between them and advised Situ Kong to get lost, as he didn't want to kill him. Situ Kong, however, scoffed, telling Wu Yu he had poked the wrong tree, kid. He charged towards Wu Yu, threatening to kill him. Wu Yu counterattacked, but his strike was deflected. Despite the setback, Wu Yu recognized Situ Kang's formidable strength. The other onlookers reveled in the fight. One commented that Situ Kang was in a higher realm, making him at least twice as strong as Wu Yu. Others asserted that Wu Yu wouldn't be able to survive this confrontation. Situ Jin laughed maniacally, urging his brother not to kill Wu Yu immediately, requesting permission to chop him up a few times first. But just then, Wu Yu intensified his fight against Situ Kang, the battle becoming fiercely intense. Wu Yu found himself at a disadvantage. He desperately thought that he couldn't die. He had just embarked on the immortal path, and his father's death had not yet been avenged. He questioned how he could possibly die here. Situ Jin continued to taunt him, declaring that Wu Yu would die that day and urging his brother to chop him up. Wu Yu's inner resolve hardened. He refused to die at the hands of a mere mortal. As the heir of the great sage, the indomitable and indestructible Monkey King, he believed he could not be killed by mere mortals like them. He activated his golden battle body, defying his mortal body's limitations. Everyone present was stunned, wondering if he had just reached the blood exchange realm and how that was possible. They recalled that he had won first place on the immortal road, a miracle against the heavens. Situ Jin frantically urged his brother to kill Wu Yu quickly, warning that he was too evil and things would become troublesome. Situ Kong, annoyed, shouted for Situ Jin to shut up. But as soon as Situ Kong lunged towards Wu Yu stopped his sword with a single bare hand. Situ Kong was utterly shocked, thinking it was impossible that Wu Yu had blocked his sword. Everyone else was equally stunned that he had stopped Situ Kang's sword with his bare hands. Just as Wu Yu was about to punch Situ Kong urgently called out to his second brother, Paul Ming Lang, for help. But it was too late. Wu Yu's punch created a gaping hole in Situ Kang's chest. Situ Jin was too stunned to speak, his eyes widening in disbelief. He saw a demon inside Wu Yu. Wu Yu then coldly addressed Situ Jin. Shi Huan knelt on the cold ground, his body trembling and his eyes filled with tears. He cried out for mercy, begging for his life. He pleaded for the sake of his younger brother, Situ Minglang, hoping that some shred of compassion might spare him. But Wu Yu stood firm. He told Shi Huan to lift his head, dismissing his pleas as nothing more than a foolish dream. Wu Yu reminded him that he had shown no mercy when he took the life of Uncle Sun. Had he ever thought a day like this would arrive? Shi Huan admitted his mistake, saying he had underestimated the consequences of killing what he called trash. But as he uttered that insult once more, calling Wu Yu the same word, Wu Yu's fury exploded. He landed a brutal punch, filled with power and rage. Shi Huan's body was flung like a ragdoll into the castle doors. He slammed against them, crumpling to the ground, blood spilling from his mouth. Without hesitation, Wu Yu picked up a sword. His grip tightened as he promised to avenge Uncle Sun. He wished peace to the old man's spirit, now resting in the 9 springs. He reflected on the path of immortality, a road paved with endless struggle. It was a fight not just against enemies, but against the heavens, the earth, other people, and even demons. Wu Yu knew that only strength could protect the things that truly mattered. At that very moment, murmurs rose from the crowd. A crane appeared in the sky, carrying none other than Situ Minglang. He arrived with a group of core disciples, each of them powerful in their own right. People whispered in awe, calling him a monster because of his immense talent. Someone noted that once he condensed his chi, he would become a direct disciple of the Supreme Protector, a rare honor. Another voice pointed out that he had already reached the 10th level of the body-tempering realm. With someone like that present, everyone believed Wu Yu's fate was sealed. Minglang stepped forward and asked Wu Yu for his name. Wu Yu stood tall and replied. His name was Wu, the one who dared to challenge the heavens, the one who swallowed the sky. Minglang's eyes darkened. Since Wu Yu had killed his 2 older brothers, he declared that he would make him suffer every imaginable pain before dying. He then turned to the senior brother and sister standing beside him, asking for permission to take Wu Yu away. The lady reminded him that the Supreme Protector held a position just beneath the sect master. Since Minglang was about to become her personal disciple, dealing with someone like Wu Yu, an outer court disciple, would be a small matter. The senior brother agreed, assuring Minglang that they would handle everything. Minglang nodded in thanks and raised his hand toward Wu Yu. Immediately, Wu Yu felt a chill spread across his face. He couldn't move a muscle. The pressure of a 10th-level martial artist was crushing. He hadn't even taken a single step, yet Wu Yu stood frozen. The difference in power was overwhelming. Wu Yu's mind raced. What could he do now? Minglang declared that Wu Yu would pay Wu Yu be handed over, but she refused. Wu Yu belonged to her peak, and no one had the right to take him. Minglang reminded her that Wu Yu had killed 5 outer court disciples, including his brothers. Was she willing to break sect rules for him? She countered that only the elders and the sect master could enforce the rules. Minglang didn't have the authority. The senior brother and sister behind Minglang urged her to stop being difficult. They insisted that the rules were clear, and Wu Yu had caused enough damage. He needed to be punished. Senior sister Su responded coolly. She had already sent word to the sect master, who would arrive soon. Not long after, the head instructor of Fengzhou Cliff appeared. The crowd bowed and greeted the sect leader with deep respect. He had already been briefed on the incident and understood the entire situation. Minglang stepped forward, stating that Wu Yu had broken the rules by killing 5 people and asked to be allowed to punish him. But the sect master's judgment surprised everyone. He declared that Situ Jin and his companions, who had tortured and murdered a defenseless old man, had lost all virtue. They were not worthy of being part of the Tianyi sect. As for Situ Khan, who had aided them, his death was a suitable punishment. The sect master reminded everyone that the immortal sword existed to destroy demons and eliminate evil. Using it to harm the innocent was disgraceful. Turning to Wu Yu, the sect master admitted that although his actions were justified, he had gone too far in his retaliation. Therefore, as a lesson, Wu Yu would spend 1 year in confinement to reflect on his choices and repent. Hidden in the crowd, some people thought the punishment was too light. After all, Wu Yu had killed 5 people. But Wu Yu understood the truth. The 1-year confinement was the sect master's way of protecting him from Minglang. Furious, Minglang demanded an explanation. How could such a light sentence be acceptable after a murder? The sect master advised him to learn the difference between good and evil. Only with a clear heart could Minglang hope to form his golden core. Still angry, Minglang told Wu Yu not to think this was over. In 1 year, he would demand justice. Wu Yu stood firm, saying that perhaps a year later, Minglang wouldn't be his match anymore. The senior sister and brother behind them scoffed. The sister noted that Wu Yu was 15 and only at the 5th level of the body tempering realm. Minglang was 13 and already at the peak. The senior brother laughed, calling Wu Yu's confidence ridiculous. The sister added that even 10 years wouldn't make a difference. The sect master ordered Wu Yu to follow him to Reflection Peak for confinement. He instructed Yanli to guide him. Wu Yu made one last request. He wanted 7 days to mourn Uncle's son, who had treated. As he walked away, the spirit of Uncle's son rose from the grave. He believed that he and Wu Yu would meet again someday. In this vast world, only the two of them remained from their bloodline. At Reflection Peak, the sect master spoke to Wu Yu. If he could defeat Minglang in a year, he would accept him as the 5th disciple of Fengzu Cliff, even without condensed qi. Senior sister Su wished him well and promised to see him in a year. Wu Yu silently gave thanks. The master turned to Yanli and admitted that he had been right about Wu Yu. The boy had great fortune and a resilient heart. The master believed their fates were intertwined. Yanli agreed, saying Wu Yu was worthy of becoming his disciple. He noted that the Supreme Protector's disciples were growing stronger, and the pressure on the master was increasing. The master then mentioned a mysterious woman. If she hadn't come from that place, she wouldn't have caught his attention. At that moment, a divine light descended on Pavilion Cliff. The crowd gasped. Minglang had condensed his qi at just 13. People whispered that he was a peerless monster, someone who might surpass even the sect master and the Supreme Protector in the future. Then, the Supreme Protector, Lu Huayun, appeared. She declared that from that moment forward, Minglang would be her 5th disciple. Minglang bowed, thanking his new master and vowing never to disappoint her. As the day ended, Minglang's eyes gleamed with quiet fury. In his heart, he knew, Wu Yu would die in a year. In the silence of the confinement room, Wu Yu immersed himself in intense cultivation. His mind stayed fixed on the challenge ahead. He knew that in just a year, Minglang would likely enter the qi condensation realm and rise to the rank of core disciple. This looming truth sharpened his focus. He couldn't afford to waste even a moment. He poured his energy into the 6th level of the Vajra indestructible body. The training required forming golden crystal acupoints throughout his body. If successful, these acupoints would burst open, shining like blazing stars. But before that, he had to ignite ground fire and endure the unbearable pain of burning acupoints across his entire body. Agonizing pain engulfed him, as if flames danced over his flesh. Gritting his teeth, he acknowledged just how excruciating it was. He understood then, cultivating this rare indestructible body demanded relentless willpower. Collapsing to the ground, he struck the floor with his fist. The blow shattered the stone beneath him, and the confinement room's door began to catch fire from the raging energy surging through him. But in that very moment, Wu Yu steadied himself. A powerful surge of triumph rose inside. He had finally broken through to the acupoint-breaking realm. He estimated that his physical strength had reached the equivalent of over 800 horses. Those at the 7th and even 8th levels of body tempering were no longer a threat to him. Still, he reminded himself that Minglang, and the immortal, were far stronger. He couldn't relax. Without delay, he shifted focus to the next stage, visualizing the ape mind. Reaching the 7th level of body tempering meant unifying strength and spirit. The mind and soul had to become one, a critical step toward the qi condensation realm. Visualization played a major role. Wu Yu needed to focus on the legendary immortal ape, the one who had once challenged the heavens and fought the Buddha. He remembered the ape's bold proclamation, the greatest sage of the mortal and immortal worlds, destined to defy fate and destroy the heavens. Those chosen by destiny would inherit that will. Letting out a sharp cry, Wu Yu renewed his resolve. He would not give up, not even through tormenting pain. He would be reborn, driven by the blood of his fallen family. The burning door crackled behind him, feeding off his fiery spirit. Outside, the old man guarding the confinement room watched and muttered to himself. Wu Yu's cultivation echoed with wild cries. The old man shook his head. It was good to see someone trained so hard, but he knew something Wu Yu didn't. Minglang had already broken into the qi condensation realm. If Wu Yu learned this, it might crush him. Inside the room, Wu Yu held a ball of qi in his hand. He had reached the 7th level over an ancestral worship ceremony. He thanked the founding emperor and the line of rulers before him. Among the crowd, voices rose. Some admired him, calling him heroic. Others mocked him, saying he looked like a little girl. One man even brought up the former crown prince, praising how he had dealt with Marshal Wu and died without resistance. He scoffed, would Yan Hao even dare kill a chicken? Another man quickly hushed him, warning against mentioning the crown prince. His name remained forbidden. The queen overheard the disturbance and demanded answers. A minister explained someone had caused trouble by speaking the forbidden name. The queen didn't hesitate. She ordered the offender's dismemberment and commanded that the entire nation be reminded, anyone who uttered "Crown Prince Yu" would doom their entire family. Just then, a lady arrived and challenged the queen's ruthlessness. She asked if this bloodshed didn't offend their ancestors during sacred rites. The queen, pausing briefly, decided to have the offender taken out of the country and executed. Rules were rules. Later, the crown prince turned to the lady. He asked if Wu knew about the hero on the 38th island to the east. That man had united the islands and declared himself the king of the Eastern Kingdom. The lady acknowledged hearing the tale but dismissed the group as evil-hearted thieves. The crown prince countered, saying the ninth king slayer, the Eastern king, wanted to marry her. He argued that such a union would benefit both nations. She refused without hesitation. The ninth king slayer, she declared, was a murderous monster. Marrying him would only bring her death. Such an alliance then stared at Yan Hao and declared that the distance between him and Wu Yu was a deep abyss. Furious, the crown prince called her a bitch and declared that Wu Yu was already dead. He questioned why she couldn't see reality. The queen stepped in to calm the tension. She reminded them they had 6 months left and assured the crown prince that she had ways to make the girl obey. He, however, looked at his sister and vowed he would take her life before she chose death herself. Back at the confinement room, Wu Yu stepped into the light. The old man saw him off, wishing him well and inviting him to return someday. Wu Yu looked up at the sky. After a year of isolation, it felt like he had lived a lifetime. Senior sister Su appeared and congratulated him on regaining his freedom. Wu Yu returned her greeting. She had sent a crane to help him return more easily. Then, she handed him a gift, flamed dragon slaying technique, a powerful martial art from their master. It closely resembled his sword style. Wu Yu thanked Master Zhang silently. Su warned him, Minglang had condensed qi a year ago, and things had changed. She also mentioned that Qing Meng had been managing his affairs, so he couldn't go back right away. Wu Yu said he would stay longer, to spend time with Uncle Sun. Su noticed his worn clothes and reminded him that he was now an outer core disciple. It was time he dressed the part. She promised to send him proper cultivator robes. She reminded him, the immortal path was long, and he must rely only on himself. Wu Yu expressed his heartfelt gratitude. She hoped to one day call him her junior brother. Wu Yu silently vowed never to let her or their master down. Soon, he stood at Uncle Sun's grave. It had been a year. He spoke to the tomb, promising to carry their shared dream forward. He picked up his sword and practiced the golden flame dragon slaying technique. The move felt natural, perfect for him. Having a true master changed everything. Yet, he knew that even this powerful technique wasn't enough to defeat Minglang. Reaching the 8th level of Vajra indestructible body would require 49 days of continuous fire-burning training, an extreme. She arrived, sword in hand, challenging him to a duel. Wu Yu was surprised. They were friends. Was this the time for fighting? She explained herself. Many people doubted Wu Yu, but since he had defeated her before, she wanted others to respect him. She had come to lose on purpose, so others would acknowledge him. Wu Yu understood. In her heart, the word friend meant everything. He readied himself and prepared for the challenge. Spectators whispered among themselves. Was this match necessary? Qing Meng was at the 8th level. Wu Yu couldn't possibly win. Some said she had mastered the 3 green technique. She could kill him with a single strike. Wu Yu, they claimed, was only inviting humiliation. Suddenly, another woman appeared behind Wu Yu, sword raised to strike. Qing Meng saw the danger and cried out, throwing herself forward to block the attack. The attacker cursed Qing Meng for interfering, declaring she was prepared to die. Onlookers shouted, "It's over, and Qing Meng is dead." She couldn't even last one move. They were stunned. Who was this woman who possessed such overwhelming strength? Wu Yu stepped in front of Qing Meng, stopping the next attack. His stance was firm. He was no longer the same man who had entered confinement. Wu Yu was violently thrown back by the sheer force of the attack. Pain surged through his body as he landed hard, yet his focus remained sharp. He quickly recognized the strength behind the assault. The lady who attacked him seemed surprised by his resilience, acknowledging that he had taken her attack head-on. The spectators who had come with Qing Meng were equally shocked. They couldn't understand how Wu Yu could be stronger than Qing Meng. They questioned just how powerful he truly was. The lady, admitting the truth, said he had indeed blocked her strike. Wu Yu quickly told Qing Meng to leave. Realizing the danger, she agreed without protest. She knew staying would only burden him. She felt the woman was too dangerous to handle alone and resolved to find help from senior sister Su. In her heart, she silently prayed that Wu Yu would hold on until she returned. The attacking lady looked at Wu Yu with disdain. She mocked his effort to protect the girl and warned him that anyone who dared attack her would die. She arrogantly claimed she needed only 10 breaths to end his life, and after that, Qing Meng would follow him in death. Wu Yu then asked if she had been sent by Minglang. She scoffed at the suggestion and dismissed him as nothing more than a qi condensation pill in her eyes. She attacked again, and Wu Yu managed to block it. He thought bitterly that Minglang had truly lost everything just for a qi condensation pill. Another brutal blow sent him flying again, crashing into a tree. As he hit the ground, Wu Yu immediately sensed the aura of a 10th level body tempering realm master. In the past, an enemy like this would have easily killed him. But this time, he didn't fall. He countered with a swift attack that sliced clean through the tree where she had just been. The lady didn't stop. She continued her barrage, while Wu Yu focused his energy, readying his counterattack. She kept taunting him, reminding him that he only had 3 breaths left before death. But Wu Yu believed she was overestimating herself. It was time to retaliate. He activated his Monkey King visualization technique and unleashed the Golden Flame Dragon Slaying technique. The powerful strike surged toward her like an unstoppable force. Seeing the incoming attack, the woman's confidence shattered. She screamed, "Impossible," before collapsing. Her sword dropped from her hand, and Wu Yu took a breath, sensing the immense power of the technique he had just used. He moved to attack again but stopped when she pleaded for her life. Looking at her, Wu Yu realized she had a high cultivation level and was likely also a sect disciple. He recalled that he had just come out of confinement and didn't want to attract more trouble. He pressed his sword to her neck but pulled back, telling her to leave and instruct Minglang to come himself next time. The woman took off her mask, revealing her face. She scolded Wu Yu for lacking compassion toward women and questioned how he could be so ruthless. Still, she turned away and told him to leave. Before he could respond, she threw something at him. A flash of light ignited into flames. He asked what it was. She answered that it was a golden flame talisman, mocking him for not recognizing it. She called him a country bumpkin from a backwater place. Then she added that Situ Minglang was busy competing to become the supervisor of the Xian kingdom and had no time for weaklings like him. She laughed at his ambition, reminding him that Minglang could now control lightning. Wu Yu stood engulfed in flames. Instead of collapsing, he advanced toward her. He coldly called her the Real Fool. Her eyes widened in disbelief. Wu Yu moved fast and grabbed her by the neck. She wondered why he hadn't turned to ashes yet and noticed his breath was even stronger now. Inside, she panicked. The golden flame talisman contained condensed essence of fire. Even someone in the qi condensation realm wouldn't survive a direct hit. But Wu Yu still stood. He called her malicious and cruel. She realized she was doomed and begged him for mercy. She offered to become his subordinate and let him do anything he wanted, just so he wouldn't kill her. Wu Yu threw her to the side and reminded her that he had already spared her once. But since she came back to kill him, he had no mercy left. He told her to enjoy the flames she had brought upon herself. As the fire consumed her, she screamed, then vanished into ashes. At that moment, senior sister Su arrived. She was alarmed to see Wu Yu still covered in flames and asked what had happened. Wu Yu assured her that he was fine and asked why she had come. She told him that Qing Meng had reached her and reported something had happened to him. That's why she had rushed over. She looked at Wu Yu closely and noticed his aura had grown stronger, but it was still chaotic. Wu Yu told her not to worry and explained that being hit with the golden flame talisman had been a blessing in disguise. If it had been another elemental attribute, he would have died. But this fire allowed him to break through a small realm, even if it wasn't yet stable. He then asked her about the supervisor position in the Xian kingdom. She explained that disciples who left the sect to manage immortal kingdoms like Xian were still called immortals. The Xian kingdom was a vast land with many spiritual resources, and its people were unaware of such treasures. Being a supervisor there brought immense benefits. It was one of the few chances to leave the sect due to its strict rules. Wu Yu thought to himself that the immortal must be Haotian. He asked if the Eastern Yu kingdom was also supervised this way. She confirmed it. The current supervisor in the Wu kingdom was Haotian, a qi condensation realm disciple of the Zhong Yuan Taoists. In 10 years, other supervisors from Tianyi sect would be sent to replace him. Realizing this, Wu Yu saw a chance. Haotian was returning soon. This might be his only opportunity to kill him. He asked if he could become the supervisor of the Eastern Yu kingdom. She hesitated. The rules allowed only disciples who had already condensed their qi to compete for the role. Wu Yu stressed that this matter was everything to him and asked if there was no other way. Senior sister Su said she would ask Master. There might be a chance, but she had 2 important points to share. First, Minglang would also be competing. If Wu Yu joined the competition, Minglang would use all his connections to sabotage him. Second, Sita Minglang had already mastered Taoism. At Wu Yu's current level, he was no match for him. If he didn't grow stronger fast, he would certainly die. She warned him that only 7 days remained until the competition began. She asked if he was really sure he wanted to participate. Wu Yu fell silent for a moment, then thought to himself. He had only 7 days to prepare. His goal was clear: become the supervisor of the immortal kingdom of Toman, go to the Wu kingdom, replace Haotian, and kill him before he returned to the Zhong Yuan Taoists. He told senior sister Su to help him make the arrangements. He was going to join the competition. She looked at him with deep concern. Wu Yu knew this was his only chance for revenge. No matter the cost, he couldn't let it slip away. He thanked her sincerely, his mind already shifting to his latest breakthrough, the 8th level of the Vajra indestructible body. He also thought about the bright stone spirit child and how important it was to stabilize this new power. But there was more. The 9th level transformation of the immortal ape loomed in his thoughts. He knew that it required the blood of an immortal ape to cultivate, and he realized this would be quite troublesome. Later, he wandered through Daobao Valley. As he walked, he took in the countless resources available in the sect's valley. There were powerful martial art techniques, Taoist magic treasures, and much more. But even with so much variety, nothing caught his eye. He had already searched so much, and now, he decided to check one last time. If nothing useful showed up, he would simply leave. That's when something strange happened. Something nearby seemed to call to him, as if connected to him by blood. Curious, he moved closer. He asked himself what it was. The shopkeeper nearby answered. It was a monkey head fruit. The fruit was known for nourishing blood and the body. The price was set at 30 taels of gold. Wu Yu didn't hesitate. He agreed to take it. But then, a merchant stepped forward and interrupted. He announced that if Wu Yu really wanted to buy it, he'd have to pay 1,000 taels of gold. Wu Yu asked what he meant by that. The merchant calmly explained that it was his item, and he could sell it at whatever price he wanted. People around began to whisper. Some recognized Wu Yu as the person who had killed people at Mintian Peak. They questioned if he really thought he could still buy anything from this place. Someone else pointed out that Wu Yu and Situ Minglang were competing for the same position of Immortal Kingdom supervisor. Another voice commented that Minglang was clearly making things difficult for Wu Yu and predicted that he wouldn't last long. Wu Yu quickly understood, the merchant must be from Mintian Peak. That explained the hostility. He looked back at the fruit. Just then, the shopkeeper repeated his demand. If Wu Yu didn't have 1,000 taels of gold, he should put it down. Wu Yu sighed. It was clear this fruit was rare, possibly one of a kind. It wouldn't be easy to find another like it, so he gently placed it back on the stall. For now, he would have to wait until the merchant left Daobao. At that moment, Minglang arrived. He casually declared that even if Wu Yu didn't have the money, he did. He would take the fruit. The merchant was thrilled. He offered it to Minglang as a gift, saying that if senior brother Minglang liked it, he was welcome to have it. He even asked if there was anything else Minglang wanted. Minglang then held the fruit up in front of Wu Yu and explained why he had taken it. He said his people had seen Wu Yu wandering around all day, so, he had bought this item, which must be very important to Wu Yu. Wu Yu asked him directly, what did he want? Minglang flipped the question. What did Wu Yu want? Then he answered his own question. Since Wu Yu wanted the fruit, he would simply give it to him. Right then and there, he crushed the fruit in his hands, let the pieces fall to the ground, and told Wu Yu to take it. He warned him not to mind such a small act and then stomped on the crushed remains. The people watching whispered among themselves. They called Situ Minglang ruthless. If he truly made a move, Wu Yu would be finished. They said this was outright humiliation. If Wu Yu didn't fight back, Minglang would keep provoking him. But if Wu Yu retaliated, Minglang would have a reason to kill him. Wu Yu silently agreed with senior sister Su. He wasn't Minglang's match right now. He bent down, picked up the crushed fruit, and pocketed it. Gasps spread through the crowd. He had actually picked it up. Some scoffed, calling him the first coward they'd ever seen. They had thought he was dangerous, a killer. But now? Wu Yu quietly put the crushed fruit into his pocket. He thanked Brother Situ for his generosity. Then, with a sharp tone, he said children always like to be impulsive. And that kind of impulsiveness, he warned, would be the reason for Minglang's defeat. Someday, he would regret it. Someday, he would cry. That made the crowd stir again. People asked each other what Wu Yu meant. Did he really think he could defeat Minglang? Minglang, hearing all this, dismissed it as nonsense. He reminded himself that his master had told him, his true rival was Dong Shangzu, a real genius. To argue with someone like Wu Yu was beneath him. Such useless talk would only kill his motivation. Later, while Wu Yu was cultivating, someone arrived with a package. They said these were Immortal Clan items sent by senior sister. Wu Yu accepted them and placed the package on the table. As he opened it, something caught his eye, the monkey head fruit. He realized that what he thought was lost forever in Azurwave's mountain had now been delivered directly into his hands. It looked exactly like a drop of blood left by the gray ape. With excitement, he understood that this was the key he needed to complete the immortal ape transformation. He even smiled to himself, wondering what expression Situ Minglang would make if he found out he had just helped Wu Yu complete it. Now, at the Immortal War Palace arena, the competition was about to begin. Supreme Protector Lin Huayun sat watching from above. The crowd buzzed with curiosity. Some wondered why Elder Ming wasn't in charge. Others guessed it was because Minglang wanted to participate. They noted how well the Supreme Protector treated him. Behind her, someone began to announce the competition details. There were 12 participants, divided into groups of 2. The winner of each pair would earn the title of Immortal Kingdom Supervisor. The announcer then began to list the names of the first group. Minglang looked around and asked why Wu Yu hadn't shown up. His senior brother replied confidently. He said he was sure Wu Yu wouldn't come. He believed Wu Yu just wanted to delay things so Minglang wouldn't kill him before the match. Once Minglang won and left the sect, Wu Yu could live a little longer. Minglang agreed. 2 hours later, the elder stood and announced the final match, Minglang versus Wu Yu. He looked around and asked where Wu Yu was. People in the audience laughed. They said Wu Yu must be too ashamed to show his face. Some mocked him for crawling under Mingyi, wondered aloud if he was walking toward his death, and whispered about his arrogance. Some doubted he had what it took to defeat Situ Minglang. He declared that Wu Yu, their little junior brother, had been completely reborn. Confidence filled his voice as he claimed Wu Yu would definitely win. He proudly added that Wu Yu had always been someone he valued since their time on the Tongxian Road. That speaker was none other than Shirsu, and he loudly encouraged Wu Yu to give that little brat a lesson he wouldn't forget. Meanwhile, Minglang addressed Wu Yu directly. He mocked him, bringing up the humiliation from that day when Wu Yu had picked up the crushed fruit beneath Minglang's foot. But Wu Yu didn't stay silent. He fired back, reminding Minglang of the time he had killed his 2 brothers, how helpless Minglang had been, unable to lift a finger in revenge. That reminder ignited Minglang's fury. In a flash, he summoned an immense surge of thunder, swearing he would enjoy every second of killing Wu Yu. Drawing his sword, he charged forward. Wu Yu calmly observed that Minglang had already lost his composure. He had seen this kind of intimidation tactic before and had mastered how to handle it. The battle began with Wu Yu unleashing his boundless forest sky converging covering technique. As the 2 swords met, the result was immediate. Minglang was sent flying backward. A collective gasp echoed through the arena. Senior Sister Su's eyes widened. The crowd was stunned. Even the Elder and the Supreme Protector stared in disbelief. The Supreme Protector silently admitted that it made sense why Fang Zi had taken a special interest in Wu Yu. The fact that Minglang had been knocked back using just the strength of the body-tempering realm said enough. Minglang stumbled to his feet, completely shaken. He couldn't believe what had just happened. Determined to retaliate, he activated powerful techniques, Boundless Heavens and the Supreme Ready model. His loud shout echoed across the arena as storm clouds formed overhead, and he summoned a thunderbolt with the cry, "Thunderbolt, burn to ashes." The skies split as the thunder crashed down onto Wu Yu. The crowd watched closely, murmuring that such a fierce strike would be impossible to survive. Some acknowledged the strength of the Qi condensation realm, but still doubted Wu Yu could walk away from it. Then, the mist cleared, and Wu Yu emerged. Minglang looked on in disbelief and shouted that it should have been over. But Wu Yu barely flinched. To him, that kind of injury was nothing compared to the resilience of his indestructible Vajra body. He charged forward again. "Be careful." Minglang prepared to strike again. Around Wu Yu, a shield formed, crackling with thunder. King Meng cried out his name. The onlookers thought it was all over. They believed Wu Yu wouldn't survive the next attack. It seemed unfair to many, but others simply shrugged. To them, all that mattered was victory or defeat. Nothing else counted. Minglang mocked Wu Yu again, reminding him that he would regret ever giving him that monkey head fruit. Wu Yu, in response, entered his transformation. A brilliant golden light exploded around him, stretching from the stage to the heavens. His body shifted, growing larger, more powerful. He had taken the form of the immortal ape. The crowd looked on, mesmerized. Minglang's advantage evaporated in that single moment. Wu Yu's transformation turned the tide completely. His golden figure, radiating power and dominance. Wu Yu stood tall before the crowd, his body transformed into the immortal ape. The audience stared in shock, unsure of what they were witnessing. Confusion rippled across his sword tightly, roared back. The battle erupted. In one overwhelming attack, Wu Yu struck Minglang with a force that sent him flying. Without giving him a moment to react, Wu Yu reappeared in front of him in a flash and drove his sword straight into him. The crowd froze in disbelief. The match had turned in an instant. Wu Yu had finished him off. Senior Sister Su and her brother were left stunned. Her brother spoke in shock, questioning whether he was hallucinating. Senior Sister Su could hardly believe it. Wu Yu had actually possessed such a powerful technique. From the side, the Supreme Protector erupted in anger. She roared furiously, calling Wu Yu a beast and demanding to know how he dared to kill Minglang. Wu Yu, breathing heavily, leaned on his sword for support. He knew it was over. Sita Minglang had been defeated. But deep down, he also knew this wasn't the end. He had a feeling that Minglang's master, Haotian, would not let this matter go so easily. His suspicion proved correct. A moment later, Haotian appeared. Her presence was suffocating. She dismissed Wu Yu as a mere ant who dared to, without hesitation, drop to his knees and bowed. He formally paid his respects to his new master. The Supreme Protector turned away in frustration, her expression dark. Wu Yu's senior brother and sister came forward with joy. The senior brother offered his congratulations, praising Wu Yu for hiding his strength so well and making Old Feng proud. He also congratulated Wu Yu for becoming an Immortal Kingdom supervisor. Senior sister Su beamed and told Wu Yu that he had finally become her junior brother. Wu Yu expressed his heartfelt thanks to both of them. He remembered their kindness from earlier that day. In his heart, he thought that now he had finally become the supervisor of an Immortal Kingdom. He turned to Wu Yu with a question. He asked why Wu Yu had chosen to compete for the Immortal Supervisor position in the first place. Wu Yu answered simply. He came from the Eastern Wu Kingdom and was originally the crown prince of that land. The master nodded slowly. He admitted that the Wu Kingdom of Eastern Yu was located in a remote area. The Tianyi sect had always looked down upon it. For years, they had refused to send a supervisor. But he also warned that Haotian had been creating havoc in that region for decades. She would not be easy to deal with. With a flick of his hand, the master brought out several magical artifacts. He offered Wu Yu a powerful weapon that would help him stay safe when dealing with Haotian. He invited him to choose 2 magic weapons. Among them were golden swords and flame swords. Wu Yu examined the array of weapons laid before him. He saw a blue flame sword, a purple fire core sword, and many others. He felt that his master was really going all out for him. The master watched him, puzzled. He asked why Wu Yu hadn't chosen yet. With Wu Yu's instincts, he should have been able to recognize which sword matched his attributes. Wu Yu responded honestly. It wasn't about the attributes. He didn't want a long sword. What he wanted was a staff. The master blinked, surprised. He admitted that a staff might actually suit Wu Yu better, but unfortunately, he didn't have one at the moment. From the side, Wu Yu's senior brother broke into laughter, shocked that Wu Yu actually wanted a stick. At that moment, Elder Era stepped forward. He told the master that he happened to own a pure golden demon subduing staff. He believed Wu Yu could fully master it within 10 years. The master replied that if Elder Era couldn't retrieve the staff, he would let Wu Yu exchange it for a sword. But then, the staff was brought forward. Wu Yu gazed at it. It looked rough, heavy, and incredibly powerful. He thought to himself that this morning staff was simple, direct, and exactly what suited him. Then, the master turned serious. He described Haotian as a treacherous person who deserved punishment. He instructed Wu Yu that once he arrived in the state of Wu, he could unleash the power of the Shingon sect. He assured Wu Yu that the Zongyuan Taoists wouldn't go to war with their sect over a single disciple's death. Wu Yu nodded, his thoughts sharp. He vowed silently that he was coming for revenge. In his heart, he made it clear, Haotian, concubine Zi, Wu Jing, he was coming for all of them. Wu Yu's path was set. The journey back to the state of Wu